And we're live a little bit early. I am joined by one of my favorite people ever. And I was just
Mhm.
gushing over her book, which I'll talk about later. But actually, you can find the link for that in the comments. Miss Dyanne, thank you for joining me. I couldn't think of a better person to have on to talk about journaling around self-love and February and so on and so on. So I've got you
Aw.
on here. So find all of her links in the comment section. Please give her some love. But I'm going to let you take it away.
Well, thank you, Melinda, for having me as part of your platform. And I just want to thank you also for all that you do for women.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm honored to share this venue with you and be part of it. So thank you. Um, and thank you for the topic. What a wonderful
Yes.
idea.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better self-love thing to do than to start a journal practice. I mean, it has been life-changing for me. It's been life-changing for many of the women who I've worked with who have come back to me and said many years later, journaling is still the best thing I've ever done for myself. And
Yeah,
so,
I agree. I agree. That's what
yeah.
helped me on my journey. Yes. And because I've had you on a few times to talk about your book and just this wonderful practice, and you make it so easy. It's easy to explain. It doesn't seem like a chore.
Right. And that's really kind of one of the most important things is that it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be I have to be. I have to do it every day. I have to do it when I'm sad. I have to follow these I mean, no rules. You just do it. It does help if you start to do it regularly because then you'll do it more often. But there are really no rules to it. I think sometimes that keeps women from starting a practice because they think they have to follow a certain way or method, and there really isn't one per se,
Ooh.
right? But I do want to say that it does help to do it a certain way, and that let me clarify that. I think a lot of times we think that journaling is specifically cathartic writing, which it is. It can
Yes.
be. And that's a beautiful self love gift there to be able to work through those emotions and to get them out and to feel better. But it also helps to direct your writing in a certain way so that your intuition can become part of the process, and so you can get resolution as you're going. So that is really kind of the only direction I would give. So yeah.
Okay, okay. And like I said, I've worked with you before, and you do have a private group, and we are being joined right now by a lovely young lady, Miss Jody, who's saying hello. She's happy to be here with
Hi,
both of
Jody.
us. Hi, Miss Jody. Thank you for tuning in.
Hi, Jody.
Yes. And so actually you do have some journal prompts. Now, are journal prompts a good way to start diving into a journal practice?
Oh, absolutely, right? And actually asking yourself the right question is really how you're going to get to the healing space that you need to get to.
Okay.
And so when I say directed writing, that's part of what I mean is asking yourself the right question as opposed to venting all the time. So a good question would be, I mean, if we're talking about self-love, is what do I need to do to be kinder to myself?
Ooh, that's a good
What
one.
do I need to do to love myself right now in this moment? So you're directing the question right to the heart of the matter.
Oh,
you
I like
know what makes me special? you know hey, Melinda, I love you today. So you can make a statement, you can ask a question, and then you write.
So it's just like you're having a conversation with you.
Right. I do have a little secret tip for, I think it is for self-love journaling. And that is, so maybe this might seem a little hard for someone depending what your background is. Like if you are maybe a domestic violence survivor or survivor of trauma, or you have emotional issues you're working through, having that self love and self worth can be a challenge. So I'm saying, okay, just what do I like about myself today? That might be a really, really hard question for someone, right? So
Right.
the secret tip is you write to yourself in the third person.
Ooh.
Even the second person helps, but the third person really helps. And I'm going to tell you why that works. It's because, well, first of all, it separates you from the difficult emotions. So it gives you a little bit of space. So you're not embodying and feeling them all at the same time, right? So
Right.
it gives you a little bit of emotional distance when you're writing, because writing can be really powerful. Well, it is really powerful, not can be, and really does get to the heart of the matter.
Mhm.
But the other thing is that you you will talk to yourself like you're talking to a friend, like you're talking to someone else, and you will be more compassionate and kinder
Mm.
and have more understanding. It's just a little tweak, a little tip, but you'd be amazed how that works.
Oh, I love that. So how would that sound for you as an example?
Okay, so one of the self-love things you can do is you can write a letter to yourself. So dear Melinda, this is what I love about you. And you're writing to yourself,
Okay.
but you're writing to another person, right?
Right.
Melinda out here. You're not like I. You're like you are just the light of my life.
Mhm.
I love the way you get up every day and smile. And,
Oh, that
s-
sounds so lovely. I mean, because sometimes that inner meanie comes out, and I would never tell my friend, "You are unworthy," or "You really stink." But when you
right,
talk and when you say it that way, it's like, "Oh, that sounds wonderful."
right. And so, I mean, that would be something you could do. And this is just an added on to that. Write that letter, put it in an envelope, address it to yourself,
Mm.
and mail it at some random time. Or give it to a really good friend
Mhm.
and say, you know what? Whenever the mood strikes you, drop this in the mail for me.
Oh, I love that.
And then, and not like in the next week or two, in a time frame where you will absolutely forget about it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you'll get this letter in the mail, and you'll recognize your writing, obviously. You open it up, but you read it. Yeah.
Oh,
So special.
yes, and powerful. Oh
It
my
is
goodness.
powerful. It is powerful.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I already know a little bit about this, but can you share how you got started on your journaling journey?
Yeah, journaling journey. That's a mouthful, huh? I think I always wanted to be, a journaler, a writer, and I would start these journals thinking I needed to be this profound literary genius or whatever, and you know what? I would write 1 page and I'd put them away, or I would write when I felt really terrible and I'd put them away, and so I had this collection of journals with nothing in them,
Mm,
and, and then I went through my, graduate studies program where I had people to talk to all the time and process, and when I graduated and I went out on my own and became a psychotherapist, all of a sudden you're by yourself, you had no one to talk to. So I really did pick up this journal and start writing my thoughts and feelings. As a new psychotherapist, I was scared. didn't know everything about all the issues that people came in with. I was a newbie at it.
Mhm.
And I recognized how much better I felt when I did that. I used to do it in the morning before I would go to work, before my daughter, while I was waiting for my daughter to put her on the bus. And I knew what it did for me. And so I started recommending it to clients. But I also was able to transition that writing just about my fears about my work into my personal life. So I started to work through, at that time, I'm trying to remember back. At that time, I was probably just starting to work through my own trauma to
Right.
really dive into it. And so I had this journal to really be my friend, to be my confidant, the place where I could be most honest, the place where I found my voice.
Ooh,
So I'm getting tingles. So
yes.
this is where you find your voice when you have no voice, when you feel like you don't have a voice, but you do have it in the pages of this journal. And the more you do it, the stronger your voice becomes. And the stronger your voice becomes, then you're honest. It all works together. You're honest in your journal. You start to be compassionate, understanding with yourself. You're working through these issues. You're finding your voice, and you're coming around to being this authentic person. Like the inside of you is matching the outside of you,
Mm.
often for the first time. And then you're able to take that out into the world. I mean, what a beautiful into your world, beautiful gift that is of compassion and self love, right?
Right.
So, yeah. So you're able, all this working together to become more authentic, to be able to find your voice, to be the woman you were always meant to be, no matter where it is that you started or you're working through. And I mean, I just think it's one of the most wonderful, beautiful things you can do.
Oh, and I love
Actually,
that.
actually, I forgot what you asked me. I probably went off on some tangent.
I asked you what your favorite pizza topping is.
Okay. I'll admit it's still pepperoni, even though it shouldn't be. Veggie. It's a veggie pizza.
You're fine. You're I think I had asked you what your how you got started in your
All
journey,
right.
but that no, that was perfect. That was
I
perfect.
segued into,
No,
yeah. Well, I
that's
was finding my voice all over again.
that's oh gosh. And you remind me of my own journey. Yeah, I just have to add in. I remember how freeing it was for me to just write and not have to worry about somebody I have to worry about maybe sending it off. I would send my journals off to my sister. I would tear something
Yes,
off, I'd
yes,
blog it or journal it, and then send it to her secretly because my ex, I would have gotten in trouble. So
right,
to be able to be free, just to write what I wanted and not have
right.
to worry about no one's going to read this. This is for my eyes only, and there's not going to be any judgment. But in the beginning, I would hesitate. I would
Mhm,
hesitate to write the words down that I was feeling just because I know I had my own fears and so on that I had to contend with and kind of break down and find my own voice. I love that.
mhm, mhm,
I do. I do.
mhm. And you raise a really, really good point, and that is that given whatever your situation is, if there is a risk, you do want to protect yourself and your writing. And what you did was brilliant, mailing it off to your sister, or keeping it somewhere that's locked, or keeping, and you can write your journal on the computer. You don't have to do it by hand. I particularly like doing it by hand. I feel like the process and the integration works better, but you can password protect it on your computer. You do want to make sure you're safe if that's an issue for you. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Yeah. And it is the other thing you mentioned, and I wanna, comment on, is it does take practice to be honest with yourself because we've been you and I particularly have been in survival mode
Right.
for so long that you forget who you are. You forget what your own thoughts are because you're guarded. You're guarded, you're surviving, you're protecting all those things that you do that it takes a while to get to your authentic voice. So, not to worry, just keep practicing. But that's why I say write fast.
Okay.
Write fast. Don't think about it. Don't try to think ahead what you're going to say. Get that prompt up, that question, and just go. And it can be, what's my next step? How do I feel safe? Wherever you are in the moment. Yeah.
Oh, and I love that. And so don't even go and do a spell check or correct your hand. Oh, I spelled this wrong. Just write.
No. That's actually why I don't do it on the computer because I'm habitual corrector and it does stop the flow and yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
And that makes it sound so easy, really and
It
truly.
is. It is. Yeah. Mm. The process is easy. Did I say that correctly? The actuality of doing it can be easy, but the process can be a little challenging because of what it might bring up.
Mhm. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you said that because I've had many light bulb moments. They're like,
Mhm.
whoa, did I
Right.
really feel that way or did I really experience this? And yes, yes.
Right. Well, and the other thing about that is, and I've had women tell me that they don't write because it makes things really real
Mhm.
because, the actuality of something will come through. And I just want to say to try not to be scared of that because truth will set you free
Mm.
and it doesn't mean you have to act.
Okay.
You can just hold the space for yourself. That journal can hold the space for you. And you take whatever time you need. I mean, I've gone back in my journals and I've written the same thing for years before I acted.
Mhm.
And that's why it's good to date what you have in your journal because then you can see, like, oh my gosh, I've been stuck on this same thing for a year now. It's time to do something. But I mean, it's like you're gathering strength. You're gathering strength, you're gathering wisdom. You're being honest with what you can and can't do at the moment, and it's okay if you're not going to do anything. But the awareness and the truth is just important, most important. It's just there for whenever you're ready to do whatever you need to do or want to do.
Oh, I love that. And Brenda has a comment. So she says, good morning. Thank you for joining us, Brenda.
Hi,
And
Brenda.
she says, writing with the number two pencil is best. I even love the sound of lead on paper when I'm writing fast. Yes, I love pencil too.
Oh, how about that? I didn't know
Yes.
that about you, Brenda.
Well, speaking of which, does it matter what you use then? I mean, it doesn't matter if you want to use a pencil or a pen. Do you have a preference yourself?
The only thing that matters is that you like the utensil you're using. Like if you like gel pens, write a gel pen. Brenda loves pencil. I might not like pencil because I might erase or cross out, whatever.
Mhm.
It just, if you love what you're writing with, you'll tend to do it more often. But there's no real rule there. I do like gel pens because they go fast. I wanna write as fast as I can, and it's smoother,
Mhm.
and it goes faster, so that's what I tend to do. But everyone has you can write it with colors. Write with
Ooh,
colors. How fun would that? That would
that
be
would
a
be fun.
self-love thing. You could
Yes.
pick, a color. "I'm pink today. I'm whatever."
And I've even picked up pens that have, they're gel pens, but they have a little bit of, like, sparkles to them, and I'm all about
Yes.
glitter, so I love that.
Oh, right. So when you write your love letter to yourself, write it with the glitter pen or write around it or decorate it or yeah.
Yes. So some lucky person out there in my circle is going to get an envelope full of love letters to myself to send. Yes, this is I really, really like that idea. I do. I
Yeah.
really love that idea. Oh.
Yeah.
That is a
Perfect.
beautiful idea. Yes. Yes, especially in those challenging days or days, when you just can't get through and then all of a sudden and I love getting mail anyway. I think there's a lost art of letter writing that we don't really have. Everyone just sends a text or they
Right.
do video calls now or an email. And how wild is that? I remember doing letter writing in school and I thought we'd always be doing letter writing and
Mhm.
here we're not. It's definitely a lost art, so I'm gonna have to pick up that practice.
It is a lost art. Yeah. That would I mean, just as you're talking, it would be, just fun to have a group of friends where you wrote letters once in a while.
Yes, I
Yeah.
actually did that. I had, like, quite a few people on my mind, and I dashed off just a card to say I was thinking of them, and it
Mhm.
was so surprising, and my handwriting has gone downhill, but it was so fun to get messages back like, "Oh, thank you for thinking of me," and I got some
Mhm.
cards back, and that was so fun. I wasn't
Mhm.
expecting it or, saying, "Hey, give me a card back." It was just really nice to have that connection again, and somebody took the
Beautiful.
time out of their day to respond back was just so lovely. It really was.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder if young people are taught to write letters. I mean, I don't even know what happens in school anymore.
I homeschool my youngest. My
Okay.
oldest 3, they went to school, and I
Mm.
don't really think they knew how to write, if I remember right, that no pun intended, how to draft or write a letter. I think everything was done on the computer, they go to computer, and this is how you do your form letter, but I don't remember them ever being
Oh,
taught even to how
interesting.
to, address an envelope. I
Oh, wow.
really don't, but I know I'm doing that with my youngest. It's like, "Yes, you have to learn how to do this. This is important." He's like, "Yeah, but I'll just send it," or everything is auto withdrawal. You don't need to send in a check. It's like, "No, you're gonna learn how to do a check. You're gonna learn how to do all this."
Wise mama.
Yes.
Keep your is your youngest, male or female?
It's a boy. He's 12.
Keep him grounded. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yes,
Yeah.
but, so Diane, if you get an envelope full of letters,
Okay, I could be that person for you. I would love that. Yes.
Okay, yes. Gonna
Or
make
for
that a
anyone who's watching, I can be the
yes.
person.
Yes,
Just
me too. Let's
send
make this
me
a
your
club. That'd be
letters, and
fun.
I will drop them in the mail randomly.
Yes, yes. Oh, that kinda reminds me, have you ever seen P.S. I Love You? It's a movie with Hilary Swank
Oh,
and, Gerard
no.
Butler. He
No.
passes away, and he sends letters after he's passed on telling her different things to do, like go out, go
Mm.
dance, go sing.
Oh,
It's really a lovely movie. I cry every time. It's one of my favorites, but that kinda reminds me of that.
how tender.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, similarly, we're talking about friends that you're gonna give these letters to, but that's
Jody
something else.
Jody says me too.
Oh, she cries every time she watches the movie? Yeah. But that's something else you can do is you can do a journal entry and write, pick someone who you know loves you,
Okay.
really loves you, and then write about yourself from that person's perspective.
Ooh.
And so that's just kind of another little tweak and it also yeah, so it's also like writing in the third person or,
Okay.
once removed and yeah, it gives you a whole different appreciation for yourself.
Oh, I do like that. Those are some great tips. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. You're like, "Oh, yeah, hello."
I needed to have you prompt me to be able to come up with them. Yeah.
And speaking of challenges, that is we are doing a self-love challenge. I am
Mhm,
doing one throughout the entire
mhm.
month of February. So I asked Diane, so what is a good challenge for people out there listening today?
Yeah, so I would challenge you to write something positive about yourself every day for 7 days, or ask yourself. You can ask the same question every day for 7 days
Oh,
and say, "What do I like about myself today? What do I like about myself today?" And you'll be surprised that you will get different answers, especially if you're not used to writing, because you will get deeper each day as you go. So by the end, and just 5 minutes, 5 minutes, write fast, 5 minutes. You don't have to be writing books. In fact, the shorter in the beginning, writing fast and doing it quick, you'll get to deeper insights. That's another tip.
I like that too. I
Right.
like that.
Yep.
And if you go to her group, I do have again, all of these links are found in the comments, but she has a phenomenal group. If you are listening out there, please take advantage of the group and
Oh,
join.
thank you.
Really, I found some really good golden nuggets in there too, and you give such wisdom and compassion.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
yes.
That's the Soulfire sisterhood.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Soulfire sisterhood.
Um,
Yes.
we
And you
are
come
a
on
good group, yeah.
yes, and you come on video in there, and just it's lovely to see. It really is.
Well, thank you, Melinda.
And
Yeah.
speaking of books, you do have a book out there. Yes, and
Yes.
I love that. I was sharing with her, I've read it like 4 or 5 times. I love this book. It's like reading it like we are right now. We're having a
Mhm.
conversation. It's like having that conversation with you next to me, telling me your story and how heartbreaking and just the difficult things that you went through and how you overcame. Really, it's beautiful. It really is. And I appreciate you
Thank
sharing
you.
that transparent as you were too. Really.
Thank you. And there are a lot of self-help tips in there
Yes.
too. Yeah. So I have it
Yes.
here. I always keep it by my so I can see it and remind myself. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to be proud of that. That's
Yeah.
awesome. It
Thank
really
you.
is. And what do you've got going on anytime soon? Do you have any big programs coming up? Any masterminds? Anything? Any goodness you can
Well,
share?
I just wanna say about the book, what I'm proud of is that it's helping women. I'm
Yes.
just so proud of that, and thank you for what you shared early on, that you've gone back to it time and time again with different, wisdom that comes through for you.
Yes. Yes.
So, um I don't have, like, a planned program coming up right now, but I am going to be launching my 6-month Soulfire Woman's Way program again, and I'm hoping
Awesome.
to do that, in March or sometime around there, so please watch for that. Um, yeah, and then just my tidbits in the Facebook group and,
Awesome. Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you. It's been such a pleasure having you on. As always, it's always a treat. Thank you.
thank you, Melinda. It's always fun to be with you.
Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, please, you can catch a replay of this on Facebook, Hope When There Was None, but you can also find it on Instagram. You'll find it on YouTube. And I do have a podcast that you'll be able to find it on your favorite listening platform. So you can take us in the car with you.
Okay.
Yes,
You're really out there. Good for
I
you.
am. I am.
Good for you.
Yes,
Alright.
yes. Well,
Much love. Mm,
thank you all
mm.
for listening. Thank you for joining me today. And have a great, safe day. And God bless. Bye bye.
Be in touch, everyone. Love you. Bye-bye.